I would like to start with something I was not preparing to say, but I thought maybe it's appropriate. And I want to share a little bit about a trip that I did almost 2 months ago in India. And I was with a group of 22 other pilgrims, and we went at the footsteps of the Himalayas. And it was a very important, a very special time for all of us, because through that trip, we all felt we were able to shade some onion skin, some parts of ourselves. The first part, the first place where we went was an ashram of a saintly woman, a disciple of Ninkaroli Baba. If you don't know him, he's the guru of Krishna Das. Maybe you know Krishna Das is a famous singer of bhajans. And she left her body some years ago, Monima. But we went to meditate where her body is, as first place where we went. And for us, we didn't even have to say it. We could feel her presence. We could feel somehow that she was there and that she was blessing us. Maybe because we came there with our open hearts, I don't know. But that was our first experience. It was very powerful and beautiful. And then we had the opportunity to visit saints, living saints, that were there in the area, in this place called Bhimtal. And after that, we went to visit Babaji Cave. And I want to share a little bit of something about Babaji Cave. We were 22, and Babaji Cave is pretty small, if you have been there. And so I decided that I didn't want to enter the cave. I stayed outside the cave, and I decided to meditate walking in the woods. And they say that this area, the Himalayas, is considered the land of gods. And when you walk there, maybe you will feel why they say that. All the area around Babaji Cave, at least for me, but also for many people that go there, other pilgrims, was vibrating with the presence of Babaji, with the presence of the masters. I didn't feel I needed to enter into the cave, but I felt in my little meditation, in my restless mind, the blessing to be there. And toward the end, we spent there for hours. I went into the cave when everybody left, and I heard a voice of one of the pilgrims saying, "Oh, Babaji is blessing us." And I didn't understand what she meant fully, but she was looking toward the bottom of the cave, and there was some water there dripping. And it reminded me a little bit when you enter into a church and there is the holy water and you take the blessing. And so when I went there to say goodbye to the cave, and I touched that water, that it was for me and for this other girl, lady, something very special. It was a blessing. So why I'm sharing this, after this we went also to Badrinath, another very holy place where Kriya Yoga was born, another place where Narayan, an old incarnation of Babaji, is revered. Then we went to Rishikesh. We went in all those places that are filled by the presence of the masters. And we just felt that through this trip we were transformed. When we are in the presence of those masters, in the places where they have left their vibrations, we can we have the opportunity to shed some of our layers that maybe we were not able in other ways. But okay, coming back to our topic today, I wanted to ask you, if I say the word karma, what does it come to your mind? If you have to picture the word karma, is it like a monster? Does it have fangs? Is it all black? Is it scary? What do you picture if I say the word karma? Do you feel a little bit of nervousness when you hear a karmic bomb? So indeed, the masters say that karma, it's an aspect of the divine love. It is an aspect of love. How is that? So we heard into the reading just before that karma is a cosmic law, is a universal cosmic law, because God is a great mathematician. He is a genius, and he made all this with exact mathematics. And for every action that we do in duality, duality action means from our ego. Every thought, every emotions that we feel, every reaction that we have to life, to circumstances, we put emotion like a wave, like an echo or a vibration that must come back to us by this law of love. And it comes back to us to give us a second chance to get it right, to raise our consciousness and respond to that situation from a higher perspective. So that's why it's an aspect of love, because imagine if we would not have consequences to our actions that maybe are not very helpful actions. Let's say we love pizza and we eat 10 and 12 and 13 and 20 pizzas and we don't feel any consequence, but then we will start to feel sick, right? So if we don't have a stomach ache. So we need those consequences that will help us to give us boundaries and come back to our center. So let me see. So those actions that we do can be, of course, good ones. So we create also good karmas. If we do something good, if we act in a generous way, if we act in a kind way, we also can expect that this energy comes back to us. And for all of us that is here, we have very, very, very good karma. Yogananda said that only to want God, it takes incarnations of good, very good karma. And think about it. Not only this, even though this is probably the most important thing, that we are on the spiritual path and we want God, but also we have a roof above our head. We have food. We have time to have sadhana. We have friends that we can share our ideals. We have so much good karma. And so when we speak about karma and we face life challenges, it's a very good thing to remember our good karma, to be grateful of all the good karma that we have, because it's a power that we can use then to face the difficulties. Life is a school, and karma is the teacher. And Yogananda said it doesn't come to crush you, to smash you. It comes to bring out from you your divine qualities, God's power within, your inner strengths. And because it's mathematical, it's a very exact, comes only when your magnetism is ready to face that challenge. Often we feel victimized by something that we can't overcome, that comes as very strong. We feel, first, often, maybe not you, but often in the world, people give the the responsibility to others for their sorrow, for their difficulties. But the law of karma is empowering. It's telling you, you have done this and you can undo it. So it's in our hands, our destiny. That's the message that the Master gave us. And we have the power when it comes to overcome it. I want to share a story of a woman that she was 13. She is called Bethany Hamilton. Anyone knows Bethany Hamilton? She is a surfer, a professional surfer. And from Hawaii, when she was 13, she was surfing and a shark completely took away one of her arms. She lost 60% of her blood. She was almost dying. She didn't, fortunately. And it was a miracle. But the greatest miracle was this, that most people, 13 years old, what would have done? They would have felt maybe victims. They would have gave up on life, on surfing. But Bethany, she had something powerful inside herself. She had faith, she had courage, she had an unbreakable spirit. And so just after 26 days, after the attack, she went back into the ocean. She paddled with one arm. She learned to pop up on the board with new balance. And she fell again, and again. But she refused to identify with the loss of the arm. She identified with her strength. So how many times we identify our life with what we lose instead of what we have with our strength that we can bring out? People asked her, were you afraid meaning when you came back into the ocean? And she said, courage doesn't mean you don't get afraid. Courage means you don't let fear stop you. And little by little, she adapted. Her determination became her superpower. By next year, she was competing again. By her late teens, she had become one of the top professional surfers in the world. She married, became a mother, and continued surfing professionally, all with one arm. And Bethany said, I don't need easy, I just need possible. Isn't it a beautiful story? And like Bethany, there are many stories when I was researching, many stories like this, because this is not something confined, a power confined to few people. It's something that everybody has, everybody have. She showed that she was able to face a very difficult challenge in a very impersonal way. Instead of saying, why me? Why this happened to me? But she just said, this happened, and now what should I do? So karma brought her a massive test, but she used it to awaken her deeper strength. And then this experience made her a channel for courage for other people that can take her as an example, as a leader, as a guide. She aligned with something higher. When we have a challenge, this is what we are called to do, to try to stay calm, stay positive, have faith. And this lifted her beyond her limitations. And her life demonstrates that challenges are not punishments, but are getaways for greatness. Okay, here. Okay. One aspect of facing a karma that's very, very important is to learn surrender. This was something that in India we got repeated again and again from the swamis that we met, surrender. See God in everything, see God in you, see God in everything that happened, surrender, as this is God's will, all this creation, what happened to you. And Swami Kriyananda said that this acceptance is not something passive. It takes tremendous energy to do that. If we don't accept and we resist what happened, I don't know if any of you had this experience, that the test comes again and again with more and more strength. I can see people smiling. So I had that experience too, again and again and again. And so we have to face it. We don't have any chance. How we can, what are other secrets that we have to face karma? We spoke about the attitude, not to accept with calmness, with even if we can, with gratitude, trying to discover that it's a blessing, trying to find out, maybe looking back. I'm sure that many of you can look back at challenges and see what happened and can see the blessing, can see that you have learned something from it, that you got strengthened from it, like when you break a bone and get stronger from it. So, in essence, though, when a karma comes back to us, Swamiji and the Master, Swami Kriyananda, the Masters tell us that we have to put out a nullifying energy. So if we react in certain situations in a negative way, we should try to learn to, how can I respond in a positive way? And in doubt, the positive way, if you don't know how is it, just act from a space of kindness, a space of love, a space of generosity, of giving, because in that consciousness you expand beyond your ego. In love, there is all doubts, there is no more doubts. You're always acting in the right way when you try to act in that space. And of course, it's not a space that we can create with our mind. It's a space that comes as a result of our spiritual practices. So we have to learn to do that. And Swami Kriyananda said that we are bound by all those habits that is our karma, that is stored in our astral body. We have repeated maybe a response to a certain situation, and we got into the habit of being fearful in a certain conditions, or being angry or being upset. And now it becomes very easy to do those things. We have been very good at them. And freedom, he said, is to be able to do these things that will be good for you and not forced by habit to do the things that are bad for you. It means that the freedom is to do what is right, to be able in every given situation to say, no matter what, I'm going to do what is the right thing accordingly to my understanding, and have the courage to do it. When we don't, what do we do when we try our best and still we are still there like kids, not really getting it, not really being able to have success? Swami Kriyananda gives us a very beautiful practice. He said, just give yourself to God and say, I am yours. Everything I have done belongs to you. Don't cling to anything as your own. As you do this every night, Make yourself a bonfire and throw into that every attachment, desire, and bit by bit, you will find yourself feeling free. So also, Master somewhere said, you can fool God. If he puts you here in Maya, in this illusion, so give him the fault of things that you are not able yet to be successful with. So tell him, you have put me here, so it's your fault. You have put this illusion, so you have to figure this out. You have to help me. And give him the fault. And Master said, and you, in this way, you will fool him. He puts you in this Maya, in this illusion, and you will go back home very quickly if you do that. So give him the responsibility, but also we have to make the effort. We have to try to nullify those karmas. Swami Kriyananda also makes this beautiful example about karma. He said, karma is like a big lake of ice, very thick, and you want to break the ice and reach to the ocean or to the water, and it seems impossible. No, how I can find God? I have to break this big, thick ice. And Swami Kriyananda said, well, that's much simpler than what you think. Take a drill and make a hole and reach the water. And what do you think the hole represents? It means that breaking the ego, breaking that sense of I, the same of thinking, try to take life not so personally. Again, this thing is happening. Not necessarily is happening to me. These things is simply happening. What can I do about it? And the best way to break this ego is meditation. So that's the most powerful tool that the masters gave us, meditation, and in particular Kriya Yoga. And in the Gita, it is said, one with the worst karma, if he steadfastly meditates on me, quickly comes to me. As we all know, Kriya Yoga works in the astral spine, where all the karmic seeds are seated and creating a strong current to bring those karmas up into the light of superconsciousness, where Yogananda said those seeds get roasted and they don't sprout. We don't have to face all these karmas. We can just nullify them in that way, in that contact with the divine. However, when we have a challenge, is that easy to meditate? I can see other smiles here. This is the time when our faith, I feel, is put to test, where often we have the most resistance. Okay, I feel anxious, I don't feel good, my energy is not that great, I don't have time. And so we put all these excuses because we don't want to meditate. But that's Maya that is pulling us back away. And so this is, instead, if you take it as a golden opportunity, this is a golden opportunity. It's a golden opportunity to walk the talk, to put in practice, to really experience on yourself that those teachings are real and that you can see it and you can find those resources, this divine strength, God's presence, and prove it in your own laboratory, that then you can face situation so much better with calmness, with joy, with that power. So Swami Kriyananda said that we can change our destiny in this way, now meditating every day, regularly. I want to share a story of Rajarsi Janakananda, who was one of the most advanced disciples of Yogananda. And one day he was on a boat, and he was in a very dangerous situation because there was a tempest and the boat was risking to go upside down, and he was afraid to drown. And you need to use a lot of intuition when I speak my English-Italian at Sunday service. And so he was concerned because he was risking his life, and he remembered an advice of Yogananda to concentrate deeply in the light of the spiritual eye. And so he did. And when we do that, in that light, that is an aspect of the Om, the pristine vibration of creation. And Yogananda said, when we are in that vibration, we are protected. Anytime we meditate, anytime we are lifting our consciousness, our energy expands, our aura becomes stronger, and the karma cannot enter, or the karma is mitigated. So I was talking with a lady that just came to Ananda, and she discovered Master. And she told me, now that I learned meditation, that I met Yogananda, when situations are challenging, in any way, they are okay, because I feel that presence. I feel that, she said, in challenging situations, I concentrate deeply on the light of the spiritual eye, and in that vibration with Master of my side, I feel safe. So anyway, very touching, because she is very new and she was able to feel that. When we meditate, when we do our sadhana, there is also a beautiful quality that we develop, that is a sense of humor. And we take things a little bit more lightly. So there was a story of Swami Kriyananda that they went into surgery, and when he came out of surgery, the doctors put him a lot of tubes all over the place. He was attached to those machines. And then at some point he called a friend and said, hey, you know what? The doctors say I look like a plate of spaghetti. So this is also the power of God that helps us to see things from a different perspective. Okay, I want to finish with one thing, that is this. Okay, the last point I want to talk about, I talked about having, the right attitude, meditation, it's so important, and then a superpower that we have is our guru and the saints, the great saints we can tune in, as I was mentioning at the beginning. The scriptures say that one moment in the company of a saint can be our raft over the ocean of delusion, because the magnetism of a saint can implant into us the understanding that what you're really looking for is bliss. That's the understanding that comes when we have satsang, when we attune with the consciousness of a master, that what we really want is bliss. And that's very important, because if we try to not to have desires, when we're not to have attachments, we are actually suppressing. Instead, Gandhi was saying, you have to replace a pleasure with a greater pleasure. If we really feel God's presence in us, if we really feel the consciousness of those great saints, then all the other lesser things will fall in a much more natural way. So the guru is our superpower for who has a guru. And so we have the opportunity every day to ask him, because he knows there's a big web of karma of us and knows what is right for us. We all have different dharma, different things we have to learn. So we have the opportunity to just connect with him at our inner telephone and ask him every day, how should I behave today? Give me the power to do that. And when we do this, we also become lights in this world that we needed so much. We become proactive, not only receiving from those masters, but a very important part is giving. As it was in the reading of the affirmation on gratitude, to give, to become channels for this light, for this consciousness in the world. So I want to end with a little reading, a poem from St. Francis, and if you feel, I want to ask you to sit upright with the spine straight, and if you feel comfortable, close your eyes and concentrate deeply at the point between the eyebrows. Try to feel the presence of Divine Mother there and her all-protecting presence. And then feel those words of St. Francis, and we end this way. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, let me sow pardon. Where there is doubt, let me sow faith. Where there is despair, let me sow hope. Where there is darkness, let me sow light. Where there is sadness, let me sow joy. O Divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, and it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. I would like to start with a reading from Whispers of Eternity, from Eternity. Thy cosmic life and I are one. Thou art the ocean, I am the wave, we are one. Thou art the flame, I am the spark, we are one. Thou art the flower, I am the fragrance, we are one. Thou art the Father, I am thy child, we are one. Thou art the beloved, I am the lover, we are one. Thou art the lover, I am the beloved, we are one. Thou art the song, I am the music, we are one. Thou art the spirit, I am all nature, we are one. Thou art my friend, and I am thy friend, we are one. Thou art the master, I am thy servant, we are one. Thou art my mother, I am thy son, we are one. Thou art my master, I am thy disciple, we are one. Thou art the ocean, I am the drop, we are one. Thou art all laughter, I am a smile, we are one. Thou art the light, I am the atom, we are one.